Hey guys, real quick video here I said I would do on problem 9.7, the segmented information, since we ran out of time in class. So again, all I've done here is copy the numbers from the book, from the problems. So we had A, B, C, D, E, and F are different segments of a company. The company has divided up their revenues for each segment, their assets for each segment, and their profit and loss, and all I've done is separated this into two columns, the profit and the loss. So generally the thing to remember is this is a 10% test. Okay, so I want to figure out the total revenue. And I want to take 10% of that. Right, times 0.1. So every segment that has revenue greater than 39.30 is reportable. So I'm just going to use colors here. So that one, A, B, C, D has revenue of 3,600, so that is less than 39.30, so it's not reportable based on this. And then E. So those segments are reportable because of the revenue test. So we're trying to get every segment that is significant. And we define significant based on these 10% tests. I do the same thing with assets. I've got 81,000 in total assets, so any segment that has more than $8,100 is reportable. So it's all of those. Now this test is, if you meet any of these tests, you're reportable. Okay? So if you meet the revenue test, you're reportable. If you don't and you meet the asset test, you're reportable. If you don't meet either of those and you meet the profit or loss test, you're reportable. Now the profit or loss is a little different in that it's based on absolute values. So you have to add up all of your profitable segments and take 10%. Then you add up all your negative segments and take 10%. And then you pick the greater one. So in this case, our profitable segments is higher. So our test number is 725. And again, that's absolute value. So any segment with 725 or more of profit or 725 or more of loss is reportable. So those are greater than 725. This is greater than 725, as is this. And we just go which segment passed any test, and we see A does, B does, C does, D does, E does. The only segment that's not reportable is F, and quite honestly we're going to end up reporting it too because we have to reconcile to the total. So, if we were to do this segment reporting, we'd report A, B, C, D, and E separately, and then we'd have a line that said other, and quite honestly we might as well just say F because that's what the other is. The only other things, after you do all these tests, you just want to check that you're reporting at least 75% of revenue, which we obviously are here, because the only revenue we're not reporting is this 1,800, which is 5%. I can't imagine the math ever working on this, but there is a limitation that you only have to report 10 segments. I'm not sure how you could have more than 10 segments that would meet all these tests. I guess there might be a way. And then, yeah, basically, if you look back to the book, it tells you what you need to report. Simply is it's most of the subtotals from your financial statements. And the only other thing I'd recommend on segment, if you just want to get more familiar with it, if you look at problem 9-8, it asks you to look at some financial statements. It gives you a year and a company, and then just answer some questions. And it might be useful to you just to get a better handle on why companies do segmented information and how useful it is to investors. Thanks all. Hope that helps.